Okay. 1 second. It's starting, and I'll turn my camera on.
Hang on. Whoa. Oh. Good morning, UMA Community Clinic family. Welcome to Free Yoga Wednesdays. And my name is DeJur. I'm so happy you're here. I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement. I am on the ceded or stolen land of the Tongva and Gabrielino First Nations. This land was theirs. They belonged to the land and the land belonged to them. And then it was stolen by colonizers and enslavers. And the name was changed to Los Angeles. I'd like to thank my regular student, June and Mel. We appreciate you from afar. Mel is taking a family day today. So thank you for your continued support by showing up for class, supporting the class and supporting your own well-being. If you have any injuries that you are aware of that you know will bring or create pain as we move around, please just be thoughtful and mindful as you move your body around. If I ask you to do something and you know it's going to cause pain or harm to you, maybe try it in a more gentle way, tease it out a little bit. It's called titrating, where you go to one point and then if that's okay, you move it up a little bit. If that's okay, you move it up more. But we don't want to create any pain or injury or any additional injuries to existing injuries, and we definitely don't want to have any pain. In any movement practice, no matter what the modality is, should not bring harm to the body. You may take a break whenever you need. We'll be taking breaks here and there as we go along, and water break, bio break, rest break, whatever it is. Feel free to make that happen for yourself. You don't have to wait for me to call that or announce for that. You are your own best yoga teacher and your own best yoga student. And so you do what your body calls for, not just because I'm here asking you to do different things. Make sure that you feel comfortable and you feel resourced and you feel like you have autonomy to do what you'd like to do or want to do or can do. We'll start with a grounding practice, and this is basically where we come into the present moment of all the things we have to do today. All those things will be waiting for us when we get done. So we want to set all of that to the side, thought-wise, and just let it be, and then bring your attention and awareness into the space that we're in here. This grounding practice can be used in any situation. It could be used right before an exam of some sort, a meeting, a scary meeting, a medical appointment. Every week I reference my meeting with the tax guy, my annual meeting with the tax guy, and he's a nice guy, but I always get twitchy when I go in there because I know I'm going to have to pay somebody some money. And so I sit in his lobby before they call me in his office and do some of these practices. So you can use them in any environment or any situation, whether you're feeling upset or regular or normal or happy. You can always take a moment to just ground yourself in the space you're in. So we sit in a comfortable, I'm on a stool for now. I'm going to get back on my mat once we get through this grounding practice. So please sit comfortably on whatever you're sitting on. And first, we just notice the points of our bodies that are making contact with something else. So in my case right now, my feet are touching the floor. My hands are right on my knees, and I feel my butt on my stool. I'm sitting on a stool. And so I notice my body parts touching other surfaces. And I feel the support of Mother Earth through all of this. We're supported by the earth. And I just noticed that I'm experimenting with lifting and lowering my feet, my toes, and then just touching my knees with my hands and just noticing where I am in space. We'll move our awareness to sound. So you might be able to hear my wind chimes because it's so windy outside, but the things I hear outside, I hear a distant lawnmower, not the neighbor person, but somewhere else, thank you. And I can hear my wind chimes clanging around out there. So see what you hear outside the space you're occupying right now. We move now in our attention, our sense of hearing into the room we're in and see if you hear any sounds. So I have a diffuser blowing over here. It has a really low motor, but I can hear that. And over there's the water fountain for the cats. Don't judge, but it makes them drink water more. So I got it because cats don't like water. Well, we know that. Anyway, it helps them to hydrate a little bit more with moving water. So I can hear those things inside my space, and I have music playing softly behind me. So see what you notice in your room. And then we move on to our sense of sight or vision, just looking around the space you're in and noticing the things that are there. You may choose or pick out a couple of things that the objects jump out at you for your attention, or the colors of the thing jumps out at you for your attention, and see what those are. Notice that. So we're looking in our space with fresh eyes. We've been in these rooms a million times, but we're looking a little bit in a different way, where we're really noticing what's around us. Sense of taste. I just had a swig of coffee. So see what you taste on your palate or your tongue. And then sense of smell. What do you smell in your space? I used a eucalyptus and tangerine, some random combination I just threw in there right before we started. So I can smell that in my room. And then we'll use either hand to opposite shoulder. Just gently brush down the opposite arm with your opposite hand. And noticing the fabric of the sleeves, if you have on long sleeves, or your skin. Just noticing what you feel. Then we'll switch sides. These arm brushes are also useful in those times of stress or anxiety. This motion helps to kind of calm and smooth out the nervous system a little bit. You can also do, I'm going to tip my camera down a little. You can also do it on the tops of your thighs, just slowly moving your hands back and forth. And while you're doing this, noticing the texture of the pants or whatever you have on your bottoms, your skin, if you have on shorts, just noticing that. And so this is how we use the five senses to sort of ground us into the moment and also kind of calm things down when we're out. Well, you don't have to be out in the world, even in the house, but when we're out with our day, sometimes things get overwhelming or stressful or traffic or whatever, and you can use these things. We'll be breathing through our nose the whole class. The reason for that is the exhale creates a little bit of a reset for the nervous system. That's the way that our bodies were wired, that there's a bonus to not just exhaling, but the result of the exhale can help to calm the nervous system. And so we're not always running around with high nerves, but we do have systems in place in our bodies that we can call forth to settle us when we hear the screeching brakes or the backfire of the car. And we're here, for those of us in LA, lots of crazy things happen here. And so you can use these techniques or the breathing to just slow things down. When people tell us when we're upset to just take some deep breaths, and you're like, I don't want to do that. But it is something therapeutic about that. There's a reason why oftentimes, especially medical professionals will tell you to try to find your breath, and catch your breath and control it. And that slows down a lot of the anxiety and all that stuff that could be going on. So I'm going to get on my mat. I may have to readjust my camera. Let's see. All right, looking good enough. So we'll start seated on the mat. Again, I always request that you make yourself comfortable and support yourself. So I'm gonna start with this blanket under basically my sit bones. Twofold, there's a cushion there, and then it lifts my hips up a little bit higher than my knees. So there's a second bonus thing that happens when you have something underneath you. The padding, of course, and then it kind of helps you to sit up a little bit taller. So we'll sit here just for a few breaths, just chin parallel to the floor. Hips and shoulders in a vertical line. The spine is as long as you can make it. So lifting the spine and the neck upward toward the crown of your head or toward the sky. And pulling in the belly button just a touch. And so that is, you might feel a little awkward to sit like this, but this is really good posture. So that the spine supports the upper body, the torso. The head is supported by the neck. Sometimes we walk around with the head in front of the spine, which puts a lot of pressure on the cervical spine, which is the neck. From the weight of the head, the human head, 10 pounds or more in an adult head. So we want to just stack all of that on top of itself. I'm just taking a few breaths here, and you may eyes open or closed. The thing with the eyelids is when you close them, as you know, it cuts out a lot of external stimuli. But for many of us, we are not comfortable with our eyes shut, even if we're at home. So you may leave them halfway open or halfway closed, wide open, or wide open and even looking around. That helps you to orientate your space into your space and your comfort. And taking breaths through your nose. So there's slow inhales and slow exhales, complete inhales and complete exhales. You want to try to make the breath smooth in and out and not choppy. So you're controlling the breathing. It takes a little practice to do this. You want to really fill the lungs up so much that your belly pops out. So it's not that your belly is full of air. It is that the diaphragm is pushing down toward the belly to make room for the full lungs. That's what's happening. So there's no air going into your stomach. It's just the body's way of moving things around to accommodate different shapes and bigger lungs and all that. So in and out through your nose. Checking your jaw, we want the jaw relaxed. One way to do that is just separate the upper and lower teeth, arches of your teeth, upper and lower, just open them, separate them just a little bit, and that will open the jaw. So that's how you take care of that. Prolonged forced closing of the jaw can start to wear out the jawbone over time and the teeth in the back. So you always want to try to have a relaxed jaw. Sometimes we start to grind and tighten up unconsciously. And so we want to work on just keeping a neutral face. The whole face, all the muscles of the face are just relaxed. This breathing practice that we're doing can be done in the car, waiting in an office for an appointment, or whatever you could be doing in the line at the supermarket or wherever the bank line. You can just start to focus on the breath and focus your attention on the breath. And again, this will help to calm the nervous system a little bit. So instead of us grabbing, another piece of candy or something else, some other substance, we can kind of help to manage a lot of this on our own without including any additives into the body. Drop your chin to your chest and just hold here. Lower the shoulders as far down as you can. We're going to let the back of the neck get a stretch here. We're holding here and breathing. Shoulders are down, so we get a little stretch on the tops of the shoulders. Slow circling of the hair. So you might hear noises. It's okay as long as there's no pain. If you have pain while you do this, maybe try to do a more gentle circle and see how that feels. If there's still pain there, just stop for a moment. We'll catch up in a second and just continue the focused breath through your nose. Some days, like I'm going, which way am I going? I'm going counterclockwise, no sound in my neck. But other times it sounds both directions. Lots of cracking and all that. And so it just depends on each day. Paying attention to what is and not feeling like there's any necessity to fix anything. Circling the opposite way. And sitting up tall and using the nasal breathing. And then coming back to center, right hand down on your mat. We're gonna, excuse me, there's a sneeze hanging out there. I'm gonna inhale and lift the left arm straight up. And so we don't want to lift the left butt cheek off the mat or off the floor because that you lose the stretch. So the left arm comes straight up, and traditionally in yoga we would look up at the left hand, but we want to also make yoga accessible for our own specific body. So looking out toward the horizon, straight out, or looking down toward the floor on your right side might feel more comfortable. You may also turn the head up and down. And you can try those out and decide what's working best for you. And then bring the left arm, left bicep near the left ear to increase that stretch. So again, the left butt stays on the floor, reaching far with the left fingertips toward the right, and hold. Imagine someone's pulling your left wrist to get a deeper stretch. Continue your focused breath, checking on the jaw and the facial muscles. And then inhale the left arm up and over, bring the left arm down. So just a quick comparison of left side, right side. You might feel different, something in the left rib cage that's different in the right. So we pulled those muscles apart and allowed in fresh oxygenated blood. And then also we've had the left shoulder open that whole time. And so you might feel something, just something different. And if you don't feel anything different, that is what it is. It's nothing wrong, nothing to worry or fix, right? It's just noticing when we can the effects of the yoga with the muscles, the joints, and the blood flow and oxygen. Okay, left hand on the floor. Go as far left as you can before the right butt pops up off the floor or the mat. Inhale, lift the right arm straight up. And then you may look up at the right hand, out horizontally down toward the left on the floor. Or you may move your head from side to side. Up to you. Reaching the right fingertips way up high and get a deep stretch on the right side of the rib cage. And you're bringing the right bicep over by the right ear and continuing that far away reach with the right fingertips toward the left. Hold here. Again, feeling like you're stretching your right arm across as if someone's pulling you from your wrist for a nice deep stretch on the right side. Right buttock down. Facial muscles relaxed, jaw is loose. Take some slow breaths through your nose, and then we'll go inhaling both arms up. Gonna go to the right again. Bring the left arm toward the left ear. That's the exhale. We're gonna go in real time. Inhale to the middle, sit up really tall. Exhale over to the left. Left hand down, right arm across. It's an exhale point. Inhale to center. While we're here, let's recross the legs. Other leg in front or on top. Exhale, right hand down, left arm to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to your left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center, hold here. Exhale, we're twisting to the right. So the left hand touches the right knee, sitting up as tall as you can. The torso's turning to the right. The right hand is either on the flat palm behind you or up on your fingertips behind you. So depending on what's comfortable for you. You can also wrap the right hand to the center of your low spine, or you can bring it over as close as you can get it to the left hip. So wrapping the arm behind, what that does is it gives a stretch to the front, the shoulder muscles in front of the shoulder. They get really tight. So this is a way to stretch. Twisting to the right, sitting up straight. You may look over left shoulder, look over right shoulder, look over left shoulder, look over right shoulder. So this movement is for the neck. Look over to the left, look to the right, to the left, to the right, and then come back to center, release your arms. Notice how the right arm feels from being wrapped behind. It might feel a little different than the left. See what you feel there, shaking out the arms. And we'll go to the left, breathing in, twisting to the left, to the right hand touches the left knee, sitting up as tall as you can, left hand, flat palm or fingertips, or wrap to the center, low center spine. The low spine, excuse me, so halfway wrapped. We're wrapping the left fingers all the way toward the right hip. Your choice. Looking over the left shoulder. And then looking over the right shoulder. We'll do these a few times. Left and right. Turning to the left. Twisting to the left. And then come back to center. Notice the feeling of the left shoulder and arm. And stretch out your legs. Windshield wiper legs, feet, and shake out your hands. And then from here, turn the toes up. We're just going to walk forward a bit. So the backs of my legs are really tight, but I'm just going to keep on going. My hands are on the outside of right hand outside right ankle, left hand outside left ankle. The spine is long versus humped back. So straighten the spine and come as far forward as you can, whatever that looks like. Just hold here. So this is a stretch for the back, buttocks, and the backs of the legs. Looking sort of down on an angle toward the floor. Inhale, both arms up, sit up really tall, reach up high. Then exhale, reach out first before you come down. Inhale, lift out first, and then sit up tall. So we really want to make that stretch beneficial, reaching up, and then out, and then down, in reverse, out, and up. That was an inhale. Exhale, forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward. So we're linking the breath and the movement. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. And this one we're going to hold forward. So exhaling down, hands on either side of the ankles, look down toward the floor and continue your nasal breath. We'll be here for a few more breaths. So in yoga, a lot of times when we get into the shape the first time, not the very first time, but the first time during class, the body is like, what are we doing? And the muscles might be a little tight from, especially if it's morning time. And so they might struggle initially to be in that shape. And then eventually when we hold it long enough, release. The muscles release the resistance because we're holding that shape. And so this is why I have you sometimes hold shapes a little longer here and there to get a deeper stretch. And then inhale, walk your hands back towards your hips, sitting up tall. We'll bring the soles of the feet to touch. This is butterfly pose. So soles of the feet touch. You can have the soles touching or the pinky side of the feet touching. Up to you. I always suggest if you have towels and stuff nearby when we have class, you can support the outside of the legs by putting something under the outside of the legs so that the legs are not just hanging in space. There's a little support there. So any towel, in class when I didn't have anything with me, if I had a hoodie or something, I'd ball it up and tuck it underneath the outside of my legs just with added support. And so we're just sitting up tall here. There's a stretch happening on the inner hamstring that we are allowing to happen by us having our legs positioned like this. These muscles here are usually tight. They don't get a lot of attention unless we are dancers or gymnasts, something like that, where we are always stretching our legs out and jumping and leaping and doing all those things that those professions do. So we're sitting up tall. We're breathing through the nose. Take a breath in here. Then exhale, walk your hands forward. So come as far forward as you can, whatever that is. We don't want to force anything. Also, I have to mention, you can adjust the sensation of what you're stretching by repositioning your feet, either the heels closer to the torso or the toes, feet away from the torso. You can experiment with that and see which feels best to you. I prefer my feet near my torso because I feel like I'm getting a deeper stretch, but it's different for each of us. So you have to find out and figure out what is best for you, what feels the best, where you feel the most therapy or a good feeling or a relaxing feeling. You have to figure out where that is for your body. Looking down toward the feet, eyes open, closed, halfway open, halfway closed, wide open, whatever you want to pick. You're walking hands toward the left. So just moving the hands toward the left. We're on flat palms here. Turning the torso a bit to the left, hold here. Then bringing the left hand, excuse me, everyone, the right hand on top of the left hand. So just stacking the right hand on top and hold. So that deepens the stretch, the twist just a little bit. And hold there. And then let's walk hands all the way to the right, toward the right. First hands flat on the floor, looking down towards your hands, holding, breathing. Then stacking left hand on top of right and holding. See if you notice moving the left hand, if you notice a little bit of a deeper stretch. You might not notice it, but see if you do. And then hands back to the center and look down toward the feet and hold just a few more breaths. And then inhale, walking yourself upright, bringing the knees together like you're closing a book, and then stretching out the legs, shaking out the arms, legs, hands, feet, whatever feels nice. And then separating the feet, the legs wide. So it's called wide leg seated pose. Toes are pointing up. So it looks like this. So we'll sit with this just for a few breaths. So just doing this alone. You can do this when you're sitting on your bed watching TV or whatever you want, computer. You can sit like this for a time, not the whole, 2 hours, but it's just a passive stretch for the muscles on the inside of the thighs. You might be able to feel that. I don't want your legs apart so far that you're in pain, but you should feel a little resistance. Otherwise, there's no stretch happening. Okay. So we don't want to force any, like opening the legs too wide where we can cause like an overstretch of the muscles, but just enough. It's called feedback or sensation. So just looking for that first edge of sensation, and that'll let you know that your legs are separated enough. Toes are up. We'll hold here. You can rest your hands anywhere on your legs or on the floor outside of your legs. You can pick. Just holding here. Now we're going to exhale and come forward. So walking the hands out away from you, palms may be flat or on your fingertips. You may have access to a forearm down. You can try that out. Whatever works for you. Toes are up. So this brings in a stretch for the low spine, this forward bend. Check on the breath, check on your jaw and your facial muscles, smooth all of that out. Let's walk hands toward the toward the right leg. One hand on either side of the right leg. Turn your torso to the right. You may feel a little extra stretch on the inside of the left thigh when you turn your torso toward the right thigh. Look down at the right knee. So the spine is long. We're not humped back. We're lengthening the spine through the crown of your head. Hold here. Inhale, both arms up, turning to the left thigh. Exhale, hands down. One hand on either side of the left leg. See if you notice a little extra oomph on the inside of the right thigh. Toes up, jaw loose, please. And shift your jaw side to side. Get a little movement in your low jaw. And then when you're done, just bring your lips together. Looking down at the left leg. Inhale, arms up, sit up really straight. Turn to the right, exhale. Inhale, arms up to center. Turn to the left, exhale. Inhale, arms up to center. Turn to the right, exhale. This is the last one. Inhale to center, turn to the left, exhale. And then inhale to center, and then exhale, lower the arms. Swan dive the arms down. And we'll bring the right foot to touch the inside of the left thigh. We'll do a twist here. So left hand, right knee, we did a version of this earlier. The left foot is flexed, toes up, turn your torso to the right. So you might feel a little something in the left inner thigh again, because we're turning away from it. So there's a little stretch that happens with that turning away. And then come to center, extend the right leg out on an angle, left foot to the inside of the right thigh. And then we're twisting to the left. Right hand to left knee, sit up really tall. I didn't talk about the backhand. So like before, flat palm, fingertips, you can also wrap if you want. Twisting to the left, sitting up as straight as you can. Breathing through the nose. We'll come back to center. Straighten the right leg. So straight out from your hip joint. Let's leave the left foot touching the inside of the right thigh and just walking forward. Looking down toward the right knee. You're on fingertips or palms, your choice, or forearms if you can get down to forearms, but it's all the same. Fingertips, palms, or forearms, looking down at the right knee. Right foot is flexed. And then inhale, come up. Left ankle above or below the right knee. So we don't want to put anything on top of the knees or make the knees bend back or bow backwards. That's an unnatural positioning for the knees, and it could damage the kneecaps and all the little, not the kneecaps, but the knee has a lot of little moving parts and ligaments and there's a lot of things going on, so we don't ever want to put any pressure on the kneecap or knee joint going, bending your knee backwards. It's not the way it's supposed to. We're not built to do that. Exhale, come forward. One hand on either side of the right leg, looking down toward the right knee. This is just another version of a hip opener. We did it with the leg basically on the floor bent. Now we're lifting it up a little bit, and it's a hip opener, which our hips tend to stay tight, so the bukkake, and so we have to work on ways to keep the hips loose. So there's a whole series of hip openers in yoga: shoulder opener, chest openers, balance poses. There's a whole series of all of these different categories of yoga. And then inhale, walk your hands back, extend the left leg out, and just see how the left hip and right hip feel compared to each other. Now, I feel my left leg feels longer. It is not longer, but it feels longer because we've lengthened a lot of the muscles in the left leg and hip. So you might notice that as a result. So we'll start with right foot touching the inside of the right thigh. And left foot up toward the ceiling, sit up tall, and then exhale, walk hands forward, looking down at your left knee. And just hold here. You might feel a little stretch in the back of the leg, the calf, the back of the knee, and the back of the thigh. The quads in front are getting a little stretch. Back of the leg. Low spine is getting a stretch. When you inhale, walk yourself up. We reposition right ankle above or below the left knee, and then exhale forward. So looking down at the left knee, and just hold here. And then inhale, walk yourself up, extend the right leg out. Notice it changes the way it feels or not. And then we'll windshield wiper the feet. Pick up the hands. So come onto your back. I'm going to use my blanket as a cushion. I don't really need it, but why not since it's right here? I'm going to put it on the upper half of my body, so that my shoulder blades are cushioned a little bit in my spine. So it's not necessary, but it's for comfort, as I said before. So knees flat on, feet flat on the floor, knees up. We're just gonna windshield wiper now the knees and just allowing the stretch to happen. When I go to my right, I notice a stretch on the top of the front of my left thigh. So see if you notice that as you move side to side. These are also mini spinal twists as we go back and forth. And I want you to move the breath. So when you come knees center, that's your breath in, and left or right is the exhale. And then center is an inhale, left or right is the exhale. So kind of link the breath up with the movement. Just slowly side to side. And there's also, especially if you're directly on your mat, a massage thing happening to the low spine and the back of the hips. I don't know if you can notice that, but it's pressing down into the floor or to the yoga mat. I feel it a little with the blanket, but it would be more noticeable if I didn't have the blanket there. But we're just moving slowly back and forth. This brings a little quote lubrication to the low part of the spine by the slow movement. It's also hip openers. And it's also a little stretch on the inside of the thighs, depending on which side you're going to. And then a stretch on the tops of the thighs, for sure. There's a little stretch that happens opposite. So the upper thigh is getting the stretch, depending on what side you're on. You might feel that. Next time you go to your left, let the legs just fall to the left and relax there. Hold your breath, hold the shape and keep the breath moving. And then hook the left heel on the outside of the right knee, just a little hook. It deepens the twist a little bit. Try that out. If it's too much, then just put the outside of the left foot back on the floor and hold here. I'm looking toward the right. You can try looking left or right and see which one. I'm only looking toward the right because that's where the camera is and I want y'all to be able to hear me. But try head right or head left. It doesn't matter. Just see what feels the best for your neck. So also there's a stretch happening on the front half of the right rib cage. You might feel something, maybe. No stress if you don't feel it, all good. And then inhale, bring the knees up, left foot on the mat, and just see what you notice in a neutral position. Knees are up, feet are flat on the floor. See if you feel any different on the right side of you. And then we'll drop knees to the right. Hold here for a few breaths. The shoulders are planted onto your mat evenly. Then we'll hook the right heel to the outside of the left knee and hold there. That just puts a little more weight in the twist. With just the weight of the right leg deepens the twist just a little bit. So we're not forcing anything, we're just letting that right ankle touching the outside of the left knee, just add a little weight to the twist. You might feel a little more of a stretch on the left front half of your rib cage. And then inhale, bring the knees up toward the ceiling, right foot on the floor. Let's windshield wiper some more. So knees side to side, move the breath. And then we're gonna lift left foot on the mat, left knee up toward the ceiling, lift the right leg so that the sole of the right foot is pointing toward the ceiling or the sky, and just hold here. So you can hang on some options with your pant leg. You have on long enough pants. You can grab hold with your hands around your calf, your knee, your thigh, your big toe with the opposite hand. You can try them all and find the one that works best for you. You want to pull that straightened leg a little bit so that the toe, your right toes are kind of pointing over your head. So pulling that leg back towards your torso just a little bit. You might feel a little stretch happening in the back of the knees and the backs of the thigh, the back of the thigh. Hold here. Exhale, lift your forehead toward the right knee. Hold here. Take some breaths here. So we're curling the spine up off the floor. Forehead toward the right knee. Right leg is as straight as you can make it. Take some breaths. Don't hold your breath. Keep the breath flowing. And inhale, head down. We'll do 4 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. 2 more. Right foot is flexed. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Release your hands down to the floor. I want you to slowly lower the right leg. So taking your time all the way down. Don't rush. Use your abdominal muscles. Control the lowering of the right leg all the way down. Pull your belly button in a little for a little more support. When the right leg touches the floor or the mat, extend the left leg out and breathe in, bring the arms up overhead. Take a big stretch here. You can circle your feet if you want, your hands if you want. You can point and flex the feet if you want. Flex and release your fingers and hands if you want. Or you can just do a basic stretch. It's all good. And then exhale, knees to chest. Hold there. And then inhale, feet on the mat. See how you feel. Gonna extend the left leg up, left foot facing the ceiling. I feel immediately that this side is much tighter than the other side. So again, you can angle to your pant leg, your calf, your big left toe with the right hand, the thighs, the knee, the thigh, the knee, left knee, wherever you want to hang on, you can hang on. You want to pull that leg toward the torso a little bit. You don't want to force or cause any pain, but we do want to feel some resistance, some feedback. That means the muscles are stretching. Just hold here. Checking on the right knee that it's still vertical toward the ceiling. Sometimes we forget about it and it falls out to the right. We want to control that and just have the right foot planted firmly on the mat. We'll exhale and lift forehead toward the left knee. We're going to hold here. So just curling the spine up off the floor. Hold here, take some breaths here. And then for 4, we're going to inhale, come down. Exhale, forehead up. Inhale, head down. Exhale, lift your head. 2 more. Inhale, head down. Exhale, lift your head. 1 more. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. And then inhale, lower the head. Release your arms. Arms down on the floor, palms up. I'm going to slowly lower the left leg. The left foot is flexed. Take your time. Turn on the abs by pulling in the belly button just a hair. All the way down. When the left leg gets to the mat, extend the right leg all the way out. And then inhaling. Both arms up and over, another big stretch, whatever that is for you. And then exhale, bring the knees to chest. We're gonna hold here. I want you to rock side to side. So the knees are near the chest. You can hang on right hand, right knee or not. You don't have to hang on at all. Let the arms be down on the floor. Move your body side to side and noticing the massage feeling that's happening around the low spine and the hips as you go from one side to the other. So noticing that. Next time the legs go to the left, put the outside of the left leg on the floor. Stack the right leg directly on top of the left. The knees are bent, just like they were with knees to chest. And the right arm is extended straight out from the shoulder, right palm up. You can take the left hand and add a little weight to the outside of the right knee. So we're in a spinal twist with the knees bent. And here, traditionally we would look, where would we look? We would look to the right, but I want you to look where it's comfortable for your neck. So that might be straight up toward the ceiling or to the left, toward the left shoulder. You get to decide for yourself. So this is a supine twist. Supine is the anatomy word or anatomical word for back. We're on our back, we're doing a twist. You might feel a little stretch in the right buttock in this shape, maybe. See if you notice anything there. And then inhaling, bringing knees to chest. Hold here in the middle. Exhale, lift your forehead towards your knees. We'll do 4 of these. Inhale down, head down. Exhale, lift. Inhale down, 2 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. Last one, exhale, lift. Inhale down. And then we're going to bring the legs over just as they are. They're bent up tight towards your chest. We're going to let them drop to the right. So the outside of the right leg is on the floor. The left leg is stacked right on top, both knees bent, just the way we were with knees to chest. This time the left arm is out to the left and the left palm is up. You can take the right hand, put it outside the left knee to add a little weight and deepen the twist a bit. You may look to the left, center, or left, left, straight up toward the sky or to the right, and decide which position of your head feels the most therapeutic for you. And it could be different one side to the other, so it doesn't have to match, doesn't have to be matchy-matchy. But hold in here, see if you feel a little pull in the left buttock, there's a little stretch that might be happening. Inhaling back to center, knees to chest. Put an exhale, lift the forehead. Inhale, head down. We'll do 3 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. 2 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Last one. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Come to rest with your legs extended out. And we're going to do a couple of what I named, because I don't know the name, but I made a name, starfish. So we're in the sort of like corpse pose, but with our arms up a bit. Normally corpse pose, the arms are down, sort of running parallel with the hip, with the thighs. We're going to bring the arms up in a more starfish shape. We're going to take a breath here. Inhale. We're going to exhale and curl into a little ball. This is the pearl shape. I named this. I made this up. Inhale, starfish. Exhale, curl. Inhale to starfish. Exhale, curl into a little pearl, little ball. 2 more. Inhale, starfish. Exhale, curl, pearl. Last one. Inhale, starfish. Exhale, pearl. So that's a nice way to do ab work. Inhale to starfish. I'm going to move into final rest, so you can either do it in starfish. If your low back is tight, you can plant your feet on the long edge of your mat and let the knees drop together. That supports the lumbar spine. For some of us, laying out in corpse pose is not comfortable at all. It's triggering, it brings anxiety, so we don't have to do that. We can do side corpse, knees to chest on an exhale, and then turn onto whatever is your favorite side, it doesn't matter. And let the lower arm be your pillow. This is side corpse. This is I find this a very soothing position. For whatever reason, doesn't have to be a reason, just a nice position to curl up in a little ball. Use your bottom arm as a pillow. You can drape the left arm along the outside of the left legs, or bring the left palm in front by your chest on the floor, palm down. So see what works for you. And we'll move into stillness. I'll invite you to grab a blanket or something to cover up with, if you'd like, a jacket, whatever's handy. Just do a little body scan. We've done a lot in our short time together, or I feel we have. To see how things are feeling for you, I'm going to move up to the camera. So a body scan, what do you notice? If you don't notice anything, that is okay. I'm just checking on the breath and the jaw. The breath is smooth and easy. Your mind is at peace and relaxed. Your heart is open. Noticing the surfaces of you, touching other surfaces, gravity. Calm, smooth breath. When you're ready, turn your head from side to side and wiggle your toes and fingers. Take a big stretch. And then you may make your way up to seated, no rush. So I want to thank you again for coming to class. Thank you, June, to our wonderful host.
Thank you, DeJur. Enjoyed it.
Thank
Charlene, thank you.
Oops. Oh, did I lose y'all? No, no.